Well, good afternoon. It's Longhaultanker, straight razor shaving with Longhaultanker, and I'm coming to you today from the Lowe's truck stop at Sidney, Nebraska. It is February the 11th, 2024, at approximately 16:15 Mountain Time. That's 4:15, as we would normally say, 4:15 p.m. Mountain Time. And got about 2.5 days of whisker growth on my face. And I got a couple of good stories to tell you about life on the road and being a truck driver. All right, let's, get my razors out over here, one for the face shave, one for the head shave. And we got a Thiers, a Sard, the art of shaving. It's a 5/8. I do believe it says, well, it doesn't say C135 on it, but beautiful laser engraved. I think it's some kind of elder wood, shoulderless, just a very nice razor. It was honed and finished on the Shapton glass up to 30,000. So I'm expecting a very good shave on that today. Let's see here. For our brush today, we're going to go back to a Badger brush, first one I've used in almost a month and a half. Oh, by the way, today is Super Bowl Sunday, if that if that means anything to anybody. So we got the Simpson Chevy 3 Manchurian Badger. Just a beautiful, nice 30 millimeter knot. We'll let that go back to soaking. And I think I've used this soap once before on camera, but this is the first time I've taken it out for a run on the road. And we're using the Scott's Pine Sheep with mutton tallow. Right? Did I say that right? Mutton tallow. Not beef tallow, but mutton tallow. Yeah, that makes sense. At the end of the shave, we'll use an Ozma alum block. Sometimes I forget to mention that, but I use that after every shave. After every shave. All right, I had a nice hot shower. I got good hot water in the basin. So here we go. You had the brush and the soap soaking. So I was at home for about just less than 2 days. Well, I got in on the afternoon of one day. I was back to the truck at the evening of the second day, ready for the load on the next day. And I'm going to tell you how all that came about. Did a 34 restart at home, reset my hours, so I had a full set of 70 hours when I left the house. Okay. Do a little pre-shave scrubbing here, even though with my nice hot shower, everything's probably ready to go, but like that extra hydration the whiskers will soak in all the goodies from the soap. Plenty of good slickness worked in there. Oop, that didn't help much, now did it? But let me tell you what happened here, because this is really kind of funny. And so I get in. What's today? What did I say? Today's Super Bowl Sunday. And I was home for Thursday, so I got in on Thursday. Went back to the truck got home on Wednesday, went back to the truck on Thursday night, and left Friday. So I've been on the road since Friday morning. And so I got to the window, the dispatch window, and I said, let's start at 1,500 miles and work down. I said, what have you got with 1,500 miles on it? And as soon as I said that, he's my dispatch manager, he says, well, I got a load going to Calgary if you want it. Sitting on the yard right now. So it's already been preloaded. It's sitting there. And I said, what, you got no Canada eligible driver to go? He said, no. He didn't. And I says, well, I'm just coming in from a run. I've got to do a 34-hour restart. The earliest I'll be able to go is Saturday morning. Are you okay with that? I guess, well, I'll have to be. And so I've recently complained that they've taken a day out, all the ivory tower people. The planners who plan, the engineers who do whatever it is they do, programmers who program. And I said, okay, I'll take the load, but I'm going to do it on a 5-day run, not a 4-day run. It's 2,200 miles from Houston, from our yard to delivery point. 2,200 miles. I said, I'm gonna take 5 days to do it. So that makes delivery on Thursday in Calgary. Tomorrow night will be Hardin. It is Sunday, yeah, Super Bowl Sunday, and I'm in Nebraska, Sydney, Nebraska. Tomorrow is Hardin. Monday night, Tuesday night is Great Falls. Wednesday night is Calgary with delivery on Thursday morning. Yeah, that works out. Had a brain freeze there for a minute. And so the dispatch manager had to go talk to somebody, and he came back and gave me a thumbs up and said, okay. And then when I'd no sooner gotten away from the dispatch office that he called me back and said, do you have your passport? Which I said, yes. And I said, you're sure everybody's okay with me doing this on the 5-day route plan? Everybody knows my 5-day route plan too. I've made no secret of it, how to run it. We also just learned that our company is going to stop paying for 34-hour restarts on the road when you run out of your 70 hours. In the old days, we used to run from Houston to Calgary, after delivery, run back to Amarillo, and we'd be out of our 70. We have to do a 34-hour restart on the road until I figured out how to do this load without a restart on the road, which is the route plan that I just outlined. I spent the night last night in Newton, Kansas, which was 660 miles. So I hauled behind yesterday, Saturday. I left Saturday. So that's how I ended up with this Calgary load. It's kind of a one-off deal. It was already late. The plan was broken. I love it when a plan blows up. I said, you've got no other Canada qualified drivers that are going to have hours able to leave before I'm able to leave on Saturday. He said, nope. Well, sure, I'll take it, but let me tell you something. I'm going to run the 5-day route, not the 4-day route. And here's what that does. So tonight I'm in Sydney, tomorrow I'm in Hardin, Nebraska. Tuesday night I'll be in Great Falls, Montana. And so from Hardin to Montana, from Hardin to Great Falls, it's about 6.5 hours drive. And so that makes for a short day. And then on Wednesday, from Great Falls, Montana to Calgary, it's about 5.5 hours. But it's difficult to find parking, very difficult to find parking in Calgary. But there's a couple of truck stops that are within 1 mile. A delivery point. Well, that's great, right? But I got to get in there early because it's so terribly difficult to find open parking places in the 2 truck stops that are across the street from each other. So I got the load, and here I go to Calgary. I probably won't get another one. It's been since sometime last spring since I've had a Calgary load. And I won't go into all of that, except they've been giving them to the owner-operators that our company hires. Dare I say, they're almost like scabs that cross the picket line. When you got owner-operators and company drivers working for the same company, that can be a very unpleasant situation. Well, here's the other thing that happened yesterday. From the time that I left at 0500 yesterday morning from Houston and drove to Newton, Kansas, 660 miles going through Houston, Dallas, Oklahoma City, and Wichita, Kansas, somewhere in that trek, if you're familiar with air brakes and air brake airlines, the blue and the red airline got a hole in it and was hissing. Anytime you got an air leak in any of your airlines, that's DOT has cause to shut you down immediately until it's repaired. So I detected this air leak when I got stopped at the truck stop last night. I stayed at the Newell Travel Center in Newton, Kansas. It's a couple years ago. It was purchased by the Pilot truck stop, which owns Pilot and Flying J. And I heard this hissing sound. And I discovered where it was coming from and all that. And this was about 5:30 last night. Which I say last night, that would have been Saturday night. So I called my shop manager, who was on duty last night, and I said, Johnny, I said, let's get a mobile mechanic out here to fix this while I'm in sleeper berth and off duty for the night so that I don't have to waste any time on it tomorrow morning, what would have been this morning. And he said, that's a good idea, let's get it done. So we called it into the company that we subscribe to, which is to say we call in, it's like AAA for big trucks. You call in the service call, they dispatch the load to a mobile mechanic that has subscribed to them and agreed to take their fee base for the call, that kind of call. Go repair the airline, repair or replace airline. Okay. And I don't know, a couple hours later, about 7:30, I get a call from the company that we use, like the AAA company, the one who's going to dispatch the mechanic, and said they've got somebody on the way and they'll be there by 10 p.m. So from 5:30 p.m. to 10 p.m., that seems like an awfully long time to have to wait, but service calls are what they are. And so I told the lady that called me, I said, well, I'll likely be asleep, just have them fix it, bill the company, however the guys take care of it, but just let me sleep. Okay, no problem. And so I turned the light out at 10 o'clock. As of 10 o'clock, he hadn't shown, and so I turned the light out to go to sleep. And needless to say, I went to sleep. Now, I woke up at about 1:30 to what I thought was a vibration on the truck, a larger than normal vibration on the truck. And I thought it was somebody stepping up on the platform behind the cab of the truck. And so I didn't think anything more about it. I thought it was the guy who finally showed up. 1:30, huh? Okay. He said be here by 10. As long as he had it done before I got up and going the next morning, or this morning, it didn't really matter. So my alarm went off this morning at 4 o'clock. I started rolling around about 4:15. And first thing I did, still laying in bed there, I called my shop manager, Johnny, who was still on duty. He works from like 6 at night to 6 the next morning. Okay, fine. And I said, Johnny, I said, did they call with any kind of report that they had done the job and repaired the airline? He said, yeah, they called and said they got it done. Okay, well, I'm gonna check on it in a little bit as I get up and get moving. So I get up out of bed, get dressed, make my bunk up, stow all my gear, and get everything in its place and everything in order. And I'm ready to go outside and check on the repair job. Step out of the cab, took a couple steps toward the rear of the truck, and I could hear the hiss. I got back there and looked at that hose line. They hadn't done anything to it at all. It looks like they didn't touch it, and probably more correctly, they never showed up. They ghosted the call and called in a false report. And so I called I called Johnny back at the shop manager. I said, Johnny, nobody checked on this thing. This thing is still leaking air. No, scratch that. I tried to call Johnny and he didn't answer. So I called the dispatching company, like the AAA company that we use. And I said, those people didn't do, I heard that these people said it was completed. Yes, we're showing that the job was completed at such and such a time. I was about 2 o'clock, 2:30. Well, it's not done. They didn't do squat. I didn't say squat. You can imagine what I said. So the lady at the repair dispatch center that I was talking to said, well, what would you like for us to do? You want us to set up another service call? I said, no. I said, I ran with this thing all day yesterday. It worked just fine. I said, and I said, 30 miles north of me, where I was there, from Newton, Kansas to McPherson's, 30 miles. And there's a nice big large truck stop there with a repair center. And I said, I'm going to go there and see what they can do. And that's where most of our repairs are done anyway, through everything from flat tires to minor. And this is minor. This is technically minor. Not like I had to change out an air chamber or do a overhaul on the truck. Or fuel injector for a diesel truck, very important. You know, those are major jobs that you got to go to certified Mack truck service center to get done. And so I drove from Newton to McPherson, 30 miles, no problem. Now I wasn't going to drive any further because I knew that if I carried on, there's a super center at Petro's in York, Nebraska, and it was about 3 hours on up or so. But I had to cross the state line in from Kansas to Nebraska, and I knew there would be I know that there is a way station there. And they very well have heard the hissing sound, pulled me in for inspection and give me a ticket for driving with a broken airline, which, yes, I would have gotten a ticket. And that creates all kinds of complications with my company. Oh, you got a ticket, didn't you check that? You called in, you drove it, knowing it was defective, blah, 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 blah. So I got to the Love's truck stop at McPherson at 6 o'clock this morning. I had to get fuel, so I got fuel first. And I said, I went inside and I said, you have a mechanic on duty today? Yeah, but he don't get here till 7 o'clock. Okay. So I finished up, I went and parked the truck. I walked back in. My language wasn't right. Say mechanic, that can mean anything. I said, it's not so I said to the lady, the mechanic you said that's got coming in at 7 o'clock, is he a tire guy or is he a real mechanic? I've had horror stories. Oh no, we got one mechanic and one tire guy coming in at 7 o'clock. Okay, fine. So I parked my truck right in front of the shop, their shop, Love's shop. Lights weren't on yet. I'm right across the driveway, right in front of their shop, on the curb, with no parking signs all around. No parking here. Try and stop me. I just spent $800 on fuel. I exaggerate, that may be close to the truth. I put in 152 gallons of diesel at 4 something a gallon. I just sat there and waited until the lights came on and everything worked out just fine, except I had to burn 2 hours. Now here's, by driving 660 miles yesterday, and I did it because I felt like it. I felt good. I wanted to drive. I got in at about 5:30 to the truck stop last night. And normally I would sometimes often stop at the Luz truck stop in Guthrie, Oklahoma, or Tonkawa, Oklahoma. But if I'd stopped in Guthrie, that makes the drive to Sidney, Nebraska 630 miles. Well, I felt good yesterday, late in the day, and I wanted to drive, and so I drove. And I drove as far, when I stopped at Newton, I had 5 minutes left on my drive clock. But the traffic was clear, and coming through Wichita, there's never a problem, usually. So that made the drive from Newton to Sidney right at 500 miles. And I got up and started driving about 5 o'clock, at 5:15 or so. And then with the 2 hours out because of repairs, I didn't hurt myself on time. And even with the breakdown, I had the time change in my favor, and I got in here at about 2:30 Mountain Time. And the rest of the trip was easy peasy, all the way to Calgary. I got my door tag on outside there, no do not disturb, so I'm hoping that they will observe that. The doors do not have the deadbolts on them, which I just don't see how they get away with that, but that's just me. All right. Now the razor's delivering an excellent shave, and it feels good. Easy peasy. So I got away from the Love's Truck Stop in McPherson, Kansas with repairs completed about 8 o'clock. And the rest of the day was super easy. Made the drive from McPherson to Sydney in one setting. It was 7 hours and 45 minutes approximately. Came up I-135, turns into US 81 to York, Nebraska, hit I-80 and I-80 west to Sydney. It was easy peasy. The soap has a delightful pine scent to it, like a pine tree. Very much like the coniferous soap that Sterling has, which I enjoy very much as well. I'm growing a little bit anxious waiting for that knock at the door because I know it's going to happen. And if not, I will be surprised, but it won't alleviate my anxiousness because I just don't know how to leave it alone. I don't know when I'm going to get this posted up. I may try and let it run overnight tonight. We shall see. But as early as it is still, I'll probably try to do something with my wife tonight. We watch movies together. Either, Amazon has that feature, Amazon Prime, called Watch Party. And I'll play the movie simultaneously on my iPad and whichever television from the house, which is really quite astonishing. let's wash it off and see what we got left. Do some finishing strokes, I'm sure. And then we'll do the head shave. Yeah, I didn't do it last time. It feels just fine. It feels real good. All right, on to the head shave. I'm going to use this gold dollar 1996. It's got heavy wood scales on it. And it's one of the better gold dollars in my opinion. You know, I've often said that it's not the recording of the video that's the problem for me. It's the uploading it to YouTube and using Verizon Wi-Fi and through my iPad to get that done. My iPad now is about 5 years old, and I don't know if there's any newer, faster models. I could buy another one, but why? Why? This one, depending upon where I'm at, will take anywhere from 3 to 8 hours. sometimes longer. And that's what annoys me. I know it's late in the video and I forgot to say it earlier, but thank you for watching. Consider subscribing if my stories are interesting, entertaining about truck driving and what little bit I know about straight razor shaving. I've been straight razor shaving now for 9 years, almost 9 years. It was in May of 2015 that I had decided to commence with straight razor shaving, and I spent the better part of a month researching razors and stones and strops and soaps and so forth, watching everything I could find, primarily from Lynn Abrams and Dr. Matt and some others that were very influential and instrumental. Of course, they'll never know, except a couple of them I've told. Oh, thank you, you know. And like a lot of people, I started with gold dollars and a Norton 4K, 8K Waterstone. And it served its purpose early on, did fine. I even did a video here last year, maybe the year before last, taking that same first gold dollar and that Norton 4K, 8K, and refreshing my gold dollar on it and doing a shave. Yeah. I knew more than I had when I first started. And to my usual favorites, I say hello. I'm watching you. I may not always comment. I'm kind of going through another blues spell. I just has more to do, I think, with work than it does anything else. I'm just kind of blah, blah, blah. Blase, blase, blase. Putting a little alum on my hand, yeah. Now see, a lot of us will tell you not to put alum on your hand with a razor and don't let the alum come into contact with the razor, and that's all true. I'm less concerned right now with a gold dollar, however. about it staining. So, Bill M., I see you got a new video out today. I will watch it likely this evening. And take a look at Bill M. I post those guys up in my comment section or description section. And Lukey 3262, also known as Matt, who does a great job not only with shaving videos, honing videos. He's a great honer. The razor I used before I left home was one I got from him, purchased from him, and he honed it up on Japanese naturals for me, and just super sharp. All right, almost done. Do the back of the neck, put on the alum, and we will be done. Okay, that's it. That's for the head shave, neck shave, face shave. Everything just feels good. I feel great. Ready to go get some dinner. I'll probably get rolling by 6:30 tomorrow morning. I got an 8-hour drive to Hardin, 8.5-hour drive. That'll get me in about 3 o'clock, I guess. It's close enough. All right, let's clear the work area a little bit, get the soap out of the way, and close it up. Put the cold water on. Go ahead and drain. Oh, that's wonderful. Almost no sting at all, very minor. I'll show you the box so that the alum comes in. So everybody, I'm sure recognizes that box. We'll put it aside. We use the Thiers Assard 5/8 shoulderless with thumb notch with laser etched scales. Very beautiful razor. Use the Simpson Chubby 3, and I'll wash it out here and clean it up here in a few minutes. Manchurian Badger, wonderful brush. And we use the Scott's Pine Sheep with mutton tallow. And I'll be honest with you, I can't tell the difference between mutton tallow and beef tallow, but it's something different. All right, that's it. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you down the road.